Take down the old guy. Sure, it's a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
There's so many mouths to feed.
Kraft is very refined in his route running.
Tucker Kraft propaganda at this point. I mean, we just love Tucker Kraft. Hello, welcome to Football X's and O's, our weekly tactics show giving you the inside analysis on the best NFL matchups every Monday. We'll take a deeper dive into the Packers' dominant 35-25 win over the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. I'm Ryan Sudo, and alongside me is NFL expert David Scott. David, how about that second half performance from the Packers?
They looked awesome. They were dead in the water at the start, and all of a sudden they came out and won the game. Jordan Love was awesome, and I'm excited to talk about him.
All right, David, what topics do you have for us?
All right, we're going to talk about old school versus new school. Aaron Rodgers' replacement defeats him in what could have been his last win to get all 30 teams. Really exciting stuff for the Packers. They look really good. We're talking about Roman's empire. Roman Wilson, young receiver, finally gets involved for the Steelers. Is that going to keep going forward? We'll talk about one really good play from him. We're talking about swinging for the fences. Packers employed a cool little swing route that we're going to talk about. Special modification of what it usually looks like. Super fun play. We're going to talk about getting Krafty. Tucker Kraft was awesome in this game. He's a top young tight end in the league. He looks like he's really breaking out this season. Last but not least, we're going to talk about Holiday Party. More on Tucker Kraft on National Tight Ends Day. It's his holiday. Him, George Kittle, other guys are having fun, but we're going to talk about specifically him and what he's doing this season.
All right, let's get to the quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, former teammates going at it, and Jordan Love just balled out 20 straight completions in this game. Love just had a heck of a game.
It seems like the Packers just go from legendary quarterback to legendary quarterback to legendary quarterback. They had Brett Favre. Then Aaron Rodgers takes over for him. And now it looks like Jordan Love is becoming the next Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, this was just a spectacular game from him, and an important one, too. Sure, like Aaron Rodgers downplayed the whole revenge game kind of thing, and Jordan Love downplayed it, too. They talked about how much they like each other and how much they love the team. But this is an important game. Like, you want to show the Packers and the Packers fans that you are the next guy. And how can you do that? Take down the old guy. Sure, it's a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. He's not the same guy that he was when he was winning MVPs, but I think this was pretty special for the Packers and pretty special for Jordan Love and who he's going to be for this team going forward.
Oh, and the connection with Tucker Kraft, we're going to get to him later, but just that connection, Love and Kraft, I mean, I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, they look really good out there together. Two young guys who seem to be growing up in the league together. Kraft, it's in his third year now. Love is coming up on year 6, 7, so he's been pretty good. He's been spectacular this year. He's, I think, inserting himself into MVP conversations. You're going to talk about this Packers team as a true Super Bowl contender. They're top of the NFC right now. I want more and more of the Packers every time I see them. I'm buying a ton of stock in Jordan Love.
I agree. And to Aaron Rodgers, no interceptions, but he did get sacked 3 times. I just felt like between the two quarterbacks, I think it was just a matter of moving in that pocket, and Rodgers had a tough time in certain moments.
Yeah, the thing I instantly thought about when you bring that up is mobility. And Aaron Rodgers just does not have that anymore. He really cannot escape the pocket as he could. There were a lot of plays where we saw pressure coming in on him, and this is a spot where a guy like Jordan Love would bail out of their pocket and try and go run or just try and create something else in the play. Rodgers can't bail out like that anymore. So when a Micah Parsons is breathing down your neck, he's just got to tuck the ball and take a sack. Now, he did have that one smart play that we saw where he was mid-sack and he got the ball down on the ground to get the incompletion, but you can't do that every play. There's going to be pressure coming a lot, and the Packers showed a good amount of pressure during this game. Rodgers couldn't handle it, and that's why he just couldn't have the same game as Jordan Love.
And Rodgers, he threw to so many targets in this game. I remember there was a stat 8 different receivers in the beginning of the game. I just felt like at the same time, though, they had trouble just getting to the other side of the field and getting things going. I feel like the one touchdown they had was because of a penalty, 3rd and 9. It was really tough sledding for that offense.
Yeah, you know, Rodgers, you were saying spreading the wealth. You always love to see a quarterback getting everyone involved. But at the same time, it felt like no one really got any momentum. He wasn't really establishing a connection with anyone that well. He really, got a good sense of direction with Roman Wilson for a bit during the game, and we'll talk more about him. But it really felt like him and DK Metcalf never really got going. Pat Freiermuth got hurt. Calvin Austin really didn't get anything going. So sure, he got the ball around. He got it to a bunch of different people, but didn't really do much with the ball.
All right, so the first play we go, Steelers' first drive of the game, 3rd and 3 on their own 27, and Rodgers just finds Roman Wilson for a deep throw.
I think this is what a lot of Steelers fans have been waiting to see, regardless of who the quarterback is. They want to see Roman Wilson down the field. They drafted this guy, and there was some excitement about him at the wide receiver position, and last year he's just not there. Mysterious injury circumstances, just not on the field, really no one throwing to him. This year he's healthy and the ball's just not going to him. And then all of a sudden this game we see, hey, this guy could be a productive wide receiver, and that shows in this play. No pressure here. This is just standard man coverage from the Packers. Just everyone's lined up, single high safety. There's really no issues here in terms of deception from his zone or pressure on Rodgers, which means he has time to get it down the field to Roman Wilson. This is deep ball. It's a 30, 40-yard completion. Roman Wilson kind of beats his corner. I wouldn't say beat him. I almost want to say the corner got lost in this route. And why I would say this is that Wilson's coming down the field. He's kind of, as you can see, waving along the field. Part of this is the route, and also part of this is it wasn't a spectacular throw from Aaron Rodgers. He had to flip his shoulders to get the ball over the other side of him. As he's going down the field, the safety comes over to help. He recognizes that this is a deep ball, and I think that threw the corner off because the corner pulled off of Roman Wilson for some reason. Don't know why he did that. I would not recommend that. Maybe he thought the ball was coming down to one of these checkdowns. He pulls off the ball. That leaves Roman Wilson able to turn towards the sideline, get the ball over his shoulder, get a big completion. When you see this early in the game, you think, wow, nice start for the Steelers offense. They're clicking early. This is a sign of things to come throughout the rest of the game. We saw none of this for the rest of the game. I don't know what happened. I loved seeing it from the start. Didn't see it again.
And we didn't really see Rodgers' mobility throughout the game, but I feel like this is the one where we saw it, where he just evaded the pressure and was out of the pocket and threw it. And I really liked Rodgers in this play. This was vintage Rodgers, in my opinion.
Yeah, just a deep ball down the field, letting your receiver run underneath it. And sure, he had to flip his shoulders to get the ball, but the ball was enough in range that Wilson could turn around, get the completion before going out of bounds. This is plays that you want to see all the time with Aaron Rodgers. Just him getting the ball down the field. He's got a pretty deep ball. We know that. He threw like a 70-yard ball in the air last week. It's just not coming up in Arthur Smith's offense. I don't know why. We could talk more about his play calling abilities, but yeah. The fact is they started early with a big hitter. You should be able to build momentum off of that. And then they just pulled back, and it's just silly play calling after what was a really good start.
I feel like one of the Steelers' weaknesses is that wide receiver 2 position. Do you think Roman Wilson could turn into a guy like that? Because entering this game, he only had like 5 receptions entering this game. Do you think he could be that number 2 in this offense?
I think that's what he was supposed to be when they drafted him. Last year, George Pickens is your number 1, and then you're looking for someone underneath him. They draft Roman Wilson out of Michigan, and he appears like he should be someone to slot into that wide receiver 2 spot. And we said he had the mysterious injury. He didn't play much last year. This year, George Pickens gets traded. DK Metcalf comes in, so you're still looking for the wide receiver 2. Should be Roman Wilson. And instead, Calvin Austin's getting targets and such. But a game like this should show the Steelers and Steelers fans that, hey, they have someone who can effectively get the ball when it's not going to DK Metcalf or it's not going to Pat Freiermuth or Jonnu Smith. So I would say yes, Roman Wilson can definitely be the wide receiver 2 in this offense. It's just a matter of, are the Steelers going to utilize him like that?
Sounds good. All right, to the second play we go. Fast forward to the third quarter, 16-7 Steelers. Packers have the ball, 2nd and goal on the opposing 9-yard line, and an unlikely player would get this touchdown.
I love this play. This was really, I think, my favorite play of the game. Savion Williams, all right, rookie out of TCU. He's not even their big name rookie wide receiver. Matthew Golden is the big name rookie wide receiver. Didn't really get the ball much in this game, but Savion Williams had a pretty solid game. And this is just like a modified swing route, and that's why I really like this. A swing route usually utilizes the running back. On a traditional swing route, we would see someone like Josh Jacobs lined up here next to Jordan Love, who would, you see our swing motion here. Our receiver is motioning behind Love, and then he's kind of getting into the swing route motion. Traditionally, the running back would be next to Love. When the ball is snapped, he would step out and swing to the left. 5 wide receivers. So instead of a running back, our wide receiver is going to motion into the swing route. Then we've got 3 wide receivers stacked up to the left. No routes there. Their only intention is to block down the field. Williams gets out there, gets the ball, runs up through them. Easy touchdown. Now, why this is especially effective is because this is coming against pressure. So the Steelers are bringing a 6-man rush, heavy blitz. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, that's a corner. You're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those 6 guys are coming in bringing pressure on Love. So that means you're going 3 on 2 here, blocking for Savion as he's coming around. That means the safety has to come down and try and catch up. Pretty easy way to get into the end zone when all of this side of the field is pretty much taken out of the play. 4-on-3, 4-on-2, you're going to win that most of the time.
I feel like Matt LaFleur just saw this defense, all these guys far back like that. He trusts his guys, and I really love this play, using an unlikely player like Williams, and I just felt like the defense was flat-footed and didn't know what to do.
Yeah, the Steelers ran a lot of pressure during this game, and I think that probably inspired LaFleur to bring out a play like this. A screen swing type of play is always going to be effective against a blitz as long as you can get the ball out in time before a guy like TJ Watt comes and takes your head off. But when you're seeing it enough throughout the night, I'm sure that gave them the confidence to say, hey, let's get this off quick, let's get it off early, so that when the pressure comes in, we've got a ton of opening on the left side of the field. And then you look at Savion Williams and you say, all right, now we've got another weapon here. Savion Williams has been a great player. I mean, he hasn't come up a lot throughout the weeks, but he had a really good game this week, and the Packers are not known for their receiving core. They're always looking for help among their wide receivers. Matthew Golden has been better in recent weeks. Christian Watson has been okay, but they're always just not quite there. They've needed a wide receiver for years, ever since Davante Adams left. Even when Davante Adams was there, they could use another wide receiver. If a guy like Savion Williams can emerge in this offense, it's just even more scary with Jordan Love in there.
Oh, I feel like with Green Bay, there's so many mouths to feed, and you have Tucker Kraft just blocking. I mean, all bets are off. I feel like having those blockers like that for a guy like Williams, I feel like there's so many options for LaFleur to choose from in this offense.
Yeah, this could break open even more kinds of trick plays, jet sweeps, things like that, flea flickers, whatever you want to talk about. I love the creativity about this. I love using the speed of Williams, the deception of a swing/screen/ whatever you want to call it. It's a lot of fun. It opens up opportunities to just completely deceive the defense, to find holes in the defense, and it worked perfectly in this situation.
All right, to the third play we go. The Packers have the ball. They're up 22-19 in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 4 on the 24, and Tucker Kraft finds a way.
Yeah, this was the Tucker Kraft game, and we'll talk more about how spectacular he's been. But in this play, you get a real example of him as a route runner. He is good as a blocker, he's good in space, but he's really good as a route runner too, and a lot of tight ends don't have that ability, just based on the build of a tight end. In this situation, we're seeing man coverage for the third time in our episode, so nothing too crazy going on with the defense. But once again, they bring a 6-man rush. So Love is under pressure. He's got 6 guys right here all coming down on him. Fortunately, he's got a running back in to do some pass blocking for him, so it's not too difficult, but that means the ball's got to get off quick. Tucker Kraft, it hits his route perfectly. Tight ends can be bumbly. Their routes can be curved instead of sharp. A lot of guys who aren't top tight ends are just kind of out there just going slow motion through the route. And sure, I'm not saying other tight ends in the league are terrible and that, but what I'm saying is Kraft is very refined in his route running. And when he's in this play, it's going to be a quick pass. It's coming immediately. The second he meets his corner in the secondary, bam, he plants his foot. Sharp turn, beats him instantly. A lot of wide receivers aren't going to beat their corners like that when they just plant their foot and go. Kraft, big tight end, tough guy, hits his corner, sharp turn to the left, hits his slant, the ball's there, he's ready for it, and then he runs another 20 yards to get it into the end zone. So he's quick, he's got good route running ability, he's got some speed. He put everything on display, and it came together in this play, but there were many more that you could have looked at throughout the night.
And yards after the catch, I feel like that's his middle name because Kraft has just been amazing in that department. I think he's the best in terms of that for tight ends. Speak to me about his abilities, yards after the catch, and going by defenders.
Yeah, you saw yak a lot in this game for Kraft. He was pulling guys behind him. He was putting people in the dirt. He's so good. I think his field vision is part of that. When he gets the ball in his hands, he's not trying to go through people. A lot of tight ends will try and go through you just because of your size and physicality. He's trying to get around people, and that's really exciting because it shows off his speed, it shows off his quickness, it shows off his IQ. He's doing really good things down the field once he gets the ball, and it goes in part with what he does before he gets the ball, and I think that's why Love trusts him so much. I would consider Kraft the top receiving option in this offense. You've got Matthew Golden, you've got Christian Watson, now Savion Williams, but I think Kraft is the one that Love trusts the most. And this game, 140 plus yards, a touchdown, that really showed why he's so trusted. And it was really highlighted after the game too. Love talked about it. Kraft talked about his game as well. They're really coming together as an offense. Kraft is one of the centerpieces of that, and you just really got to be excited to watch it. He does so much fun things. He does Travis Kelce kind of things. I see even Rob Gronkowski in him, just with his movement abilities. it's fun. I really like him as a player. This is only year 3 for him. There's so much more to come.
I was just about to say that. This is a young player, so I think we have plenty more years to see Kraft in this league. Going to Jordan Love, I feel like it was just always going to be a surprise for him to incomplete a pass. I feel like he was always on his mark against Pittsburgh. In the pass rush, he didn't care if he was getting pressure or not. He was finding things to happen in this offense.
Yeah, 6-man rush. It happened a lot throughout the game. The Steelers were bringing a lot of pressure. Didn't matter. You said the 20 straight completions that he had at one point. It didn't matter what was in his face. He was getting the ball out, and he was getting it out with accuracy. That is such a good sign for a quarterback. If you can handle the pressure that's coming at you without worrying, without having to get quick feet, without having to just take a sack, he's still finding people down the field even when he's about to take a hit. That's spectacular quarterback work. That's top 5 quarterback work. And that's something that's going to get you into deep playoff contention.
Oh, and those, I feel like those rainbow balls, he was just finding ways in those type of throws too. I mean, they would be in the air for 5 seconds and a Steeler defender would just be short of that throw. Speak to me about like those rainbow throws that he just finds a way to get things done with this guys.
Yeah, we did see one of those plays. It was later in the game. Moonball down the field, and it looked like a Steelers defender was going to be there. And I saw it. I'm thinking, oh, this is an interception. This is going to get the Steelers back in the game. Goes up for the ball. I think it was like an inch above his fingers. Just couldn't get there. Gets into Christian Watson's hands. So hey, he's doing everything right. He's looking like the successor to Aaron Rodgers. That's really what it is. And I don't think there's any question now that you can say he's the next in line of another great Packers quarterback.
I definitely buy into the Packers being a Super Bowl contender. All right, to the last topic, and this is just Tucker Kraft propaganda at this point. Yeah. I mean, we just love Tucker Kraft. I mean, I think he's a top 2 tight end, and he's not 2. I really love how he plays the game and the way he just moves after the catch. It's just nothing that he can't do on this field.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft, I think, has slowly been developing into a top tight end in the league. His first year, he wasn't really the main option in the offense. Last year, pretty good, 7 touchdowns, around 700 yards. This year, he's going to smash over 1,000 yards. He's already got 6 touchdowns, so who knows what he has throughout the rest of the year. He's a special player in a special offense, on a special team as a whole. When you find guys like this and you surround them with other great talents, it allows them to shine. His connection with Jordan Love has been great, and having other guys around him to take some of the pressure off of him has really helped. I think that if you don't have a guy like Josh Jacobs in the backfield, you don't see this kind of production from Tucker Kraft. But at the same time, if you don't have a guy like Tucker Kraft out there, you probably don't see the same kind of production from Josh Jacobs. So it's an all-around effort, but at the same time, like, he's a really special player. He's been doing this now for just week in and week out. There's no more doubting it. Like, when you look at certain players, and you see, at some point in the season, you can't say, all right, it's not a fluke. It's not like it's not going to end. This is going to keep going throughout the year. I could see him as an all-pro at this point.
I think you read my mind. I was about to ask you about Josh Jacobs. Just that offense, there's nothing that they can't do in this offense. And I feel like Josh Jacobs, he had 1 touchdown in this game, but there's just so many mouths to feed. And I feel like having Jacobs and Kraft as a top 2 options in this league, it's one of the best combos in the league.
Yeah, I think you can't look at many other teams and say they have a better duo than that. There's any duo that's got more star power than that. A lot of teams don't maybe have a tight end 1 but don't have an RB 1, or have an RB 1 and don't have a tight end 1. The Packers got both, and you could say they probably don't have the wide receiver 1, but they don't need it. Tucker Kraft could be your wide receiver 1. He's making moves out there like he is. So to have them together, to have them just making plays alongside each other, they seem to really love each other, this whole team. I love everything about this offense. I want more Tucker Kraft. We're gonna keep doing the Tucker Kraft propaganda. He's tight end 1 in our hearts. Sure, maybe he might be leading in yards and touchdowns too. He's a great player.
Yeah.
He's going to keep doing it. I would put my foot down now for him as a Pro Bowler and All-Pro at the end of the year.
And the Packers as a whole, 5-1-1. Imagine if they didn't get that tie, they could be 6-1. Do you think the Packers are a Super Bowl contender? I mean, they have to be, but do you think they can go all the way for this season?
At this point, I would stamp them as my Super Bowl favorite. For a couple weeks, I was a little iffy on if they were legit. I looked at this matchup as kind of a test for them. I think you can't say there's anyone better in the NFC right now. The Buccaneers haven't looked all that solid in recent weeks. Sure, they're getting wins, but they don't look spectacular. The Rams look good, but I don't see them exactly on this level in terms of the offense and the defense. The Eagles don't look all that sharp either. So I look around the teams in the NFC and I look at the Packers and I say, yeah, I think this is the Super Bowl team in the NFC. I think this might be the Super Bowl winning team in all of the NFL. So yes, I'm bought in on the Packers. I think they are a legit top team in the league. I think I'll say it now. I think they're a favorite for the Super Bowl.
And we didn't even mention about Michael Parsons and getting that sack and those other 2 sacks. Green Bay was just finding ways on that defensive side of the ball and creating pressure on Rodgers. And I do agree with you that they are a Super Bowl contender and a favorite. All right, that's going to wrap things up here at Football X's and O's. You can catch us every Monday. We also have Ain't There a Bowl every Thursday. You can please like and subscribe and let us know in the comments if you think the Packers are the real deal and could be a contender in the Super Bowl.